Okay, so I had a request on how I attach this part, the hood, to the towel and trimming this off. So I've marked my center on the towel, and since I know where the center is on this already, I am literally just going to line it up. I'm going to turn this over. It's just easier this way for me. It's how my brain works. So my center, my hood, I'm going to center those, but I'm not going to go all the way to the edges. I'm going to take this finished edge of the towel and line it up with the edge, the finished edge of this, the hood. And since I did this one crooked, I'm going to just kind of Mickey Mouse it, Jimmy rig it, whatever you guys, whatever term you want to use, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and put a couple pins in really quick. And then I'm going to take it over to the serger and I'll come back when I'm there. Okay, so I want to cut this bulky piece of the towel, of the hood off. As you can see, I have the hood on the bottom and the towel on the top. And I want to cut this off. So when I start to serge, some of my serging is going to be before the hood part. And I'm going to go ahead and just unstitch that later with my, I can't think of what it's called. Seam ripper. My cameraman rocks. He knew what that was. Anyways, I'll take that out with the seam ripper, and I'm going to go over a straight stitch with this later, and I'll show you that too. So I've lined this up, and I am just going to let my knife cut this little edge off. Hold on. There we go. So I am literally just cutting the hood, the two pieces of the hood off, and lining up the edge of my knife with that part of the towel. I'll stitch a little more and then I'll show you when I'm done. So you can see that this part of the hood is coming off. So I'll finish this and then I'll come back and show you my next step. Okay, so he didn't tell me he started the camera. He didn't count down, so it was a delay there. Sorry. So can you see this part right here, how the serging has gone over? I don't want that to show. I am really picky about that. So I'm actually going to take my seam ripper. Thanks, cameraman, for helping me out there earlier. And I'm just going to unstitch this. Okay, so we're going to try this again. I have this little section right here that goes past the hood where the serger has serged. So I'm going to take my seam ripper and I'm just going to rip out until right before it. And then I'm going to take this over to the machine and I'm going to stitch it with a straight stitch in this green color so you can't tell. And that just reinforces the hood also. And then I will show you that when we're done. Okay, so I've now brought the towel back over to my machine and I am going to start right at the place where the hood and the towel meet. Maybe. And just line, again, I use my presser foot for lining things up. I've been doing it a while, so I just kind of go with that. And it's really important to back stitch here and at the other end. I know it's already serged, but that holds all your serging stitching in. It just gives that extra reinforcement that we were talking about. Hold on. So, stitch this to the end. And this was the side where I took the seams out, the stitching out, I should say, that was over where I wanted it. Just reinforce this a couple times. And we'll move back to the table. Okay, so if my cameraman will zoom in just a little, you can see that I have taken that stitching out. I need to trim this and have one over here, but otherwise it just looks like it's been attached and it's held on pretty tight. My cameraman, who is sensitive to things, pointed out, Mom, that's right on someone's neck. So you have two options. You can do a top stitch. I would fold it up so it lines up with that, and you can stitch it down. Or you can take a piece of ribbon. I have not done this, but you can take a piece of ribbon, I'm guessing 3/4 inches wide, lay it on there and then just stitch down both sides, maybe a silky piece if you have somebody that's sensitive to rough things. And I want to touch bases on this really quick. This is just cotton. Somebody asked me what I use. I use cotton fabric. These were in my stash. This has a little bit of wrinkling in it because I was in a hurry today. But I use, hold on, let me grab it. I have caught my finger in the machine. I actually had a needle go all the way through, just barely missing the nail. Had to go to the doctors, blah, blah, blah. So I started using a spatula, just a plain old kitchen spatula. You can see that I've stitched right through this. And a big long dowel. And I use those after I've got my fabric laid out. I use those as it's stitching to kind of smooth the fabric out, and that's what keeps my fabric smooth and tight. I also use Heat and Bond Light. I don't use it all the time, but that's what I use. And here's the wings. You can see same concept. I just use the spatula as it's stitching out. I wish I had two of these. I need to. And then you just kind of move around the needle. You got to be quicker than the needle, as you can see. So, any other questions, just leave a comment and I will make another video. Thanks. Bye.